Have you ever wondered what it would be like to ride shotgun with a cowboy on the big screen, galloping through treacherous landscapes and facing off against notorious outlaws? Imagine John Wayne, the epitome of American masculinity, gracing your TV screen in an epic showdown, delivering iconic lines that leave you in awe. And what if I told you that this legendary actor's journey to stardom was filled with unexpected twists, heartbreaks, and a relentless battle against the odds? Join us on an extraordinary adventure as we delve into the life and career of John Wayne, the man who brought the Wild West to life. After experiencing a major setback with the Big Trail, John Wayne found himself searching for new opportunities in Hollywood once again. His next role was a small part in the production of Girls Demand Excitement, beginning in November of 1930. This was followed by a 6-month contract with Columbia Pictures for the movie Men Are Like That, based on the play Arizona. Contrary to expectations, this film was not a traditional cowboy story, but rather featured Wayne as a football player navigating love and abandonment. Though it received only moderate success at the time, it is now appreciated as a showcase of John Wayne's early acting style. In late 1931, Wayne signed with Mascot Studios to work on several serial features. One of these projects was The Shadow of the Eagle, shot during December of that year. Known for his dedicated work ethic, Wayne maintained a relentless schedule throughout these productions, often arriving early in the morning and leaving late at night. After completing The Shadow of the Eagle, he moved on to another Mascot serial adaptation, this time The Three Musketeers, filmed between April 1932 and April 1933. Amidst his hectic work schedule, John Wayne married his longtime love, Josephine, on June 24, 1933, at the Church of the Immaculate Conception in a traditional Catholic ceremony. Their union would be blessed with 4 children: Michael, born in 1934, Antonia, 1936, Patrick, 1939, and Melinda, 1940. Despite the challenges of his early career, John Wayne persevered, laying the groundwork for the legendary status he would achieve in the world of film. Amidst the proliferation of his on-screen offspring, John Wayne found himself stuck in a cycle of mediocre roles and forgettable films. Despite his generous remuneration, the actor's star began to wane as he struggled against the threat of being forever branded a B-movie has-been. Confronting this professional quagmire left Wayne despondent, but his circumstances offered him little respite. Simultaneously, tragedy struck in Wayne's personal life when news reached him of his father Clyde's sudden passing. After dropping off his stepdaughter at school, Clyde mentioned his ill health and soon after succumbed to a massive heart attack in bed. John Wayne was devastated by the loss, having held his father in high regard despite his flaws. In true Wayne fashion, however, he swiftly learned to suppress his grief, displaying an uncanny ability to compartmentalize his emotions. This resilience would become apparent years later when attending the burial of a fellow film industry associate. Casually scanning the graveyard, he unexpectedly remarked, "My dad is buried up here somewhere. I've never been back since the funeral." The duality of John Wayne's life, both professional and personal, painted a complex picture of an actor struggling against fate while navigating his own emotional landscape. Amidst his growing discontent with his professional life, John Wayne's frustration peaked after the loss of his father in 1937. Turning to his old friend and director, Ford, he passionately asked, "When is it my turn?" Ford reassured him, promising to provide the perfect script when the time was right. Soon afterwards, this pivotal moment arrived as Ford introduced Wayne to a small yet revolutionary piece titled Stagecoach, a movie that would fundamentally alter his career trajectory. The production of Stagecoach commenced in October 1938 under Walter Wanger's supervision. As Halloween approached and Wayne joined the cast, he harbored no desire for tricks, but rather anticipated a significant turning point in his acting journey. The film wrapped up in December 1938 and hit cinemas in February of the following year. Intriguingly, Stagecoach was based on a play written by Eugene O'Neill that revolved around the lives of steamship sailors. John Wayne's character evolved into a somewhat villainous tough guy, diverging from his previous do-gooder roles. This shift in portrayal proved to be advantageous as critics hailed Wayne's performance. John Wayne, as the outlaw, displays talent hitherto only partially used, a forthright, restrained delivery, and an appealing personality which here gets a new impetus. With this review, Wayne had finally discovered his niche in mainstream stardom, propelling him to unparalleled heights of success. Following his appearance in Stagecoach, John Wayne was cast in the film Seven Sinners alongside Marlene Dietrich in 1940. Their on-screen chemistry quickly translated into a passionate relationship both during and outside of filming. Wayne later recounted the story of their initial meeting, largely orchestrated by Dietrich herself. According to legend, Dietrich invited Wayne to her dressing room. As he nervously lingered behind her while she applied makeup, his only contribution to the conversation was a stuttering question about the time. Undeterred by his awkwardness, she said, "It's very early, darling. We have plenty of time." In Seven Sinners, Dietrich portrayed a woman determined to seduce Wayne's character, and in reality, she seemed to achieve the same goal. However, their romance was short-lived, ending soon after it began. Despite his indiscretions, Wayne deeply loved his wife, often experiencing guilt when involved with other women. Despite his wife's disapproval when she discovered some of Wayne's extramarital activities, the couple couldn't completely avoid their Hollywood surroundings. As a result, John Wayne and Marlene Dietrich remained friends and collaborated on 2 more films together, Pittsburgh and The Spoilers, both produced in 1942. Their sizzling on-screen chemistry continued to captivate audiences even after their brief romance ended. In a tumultuous twist in their once-happy marriage, Josephine discovered and could no longer tolerate Wayne's extramarital escapades with Dietrich. Seeking divine guidance, she reached out to Father McCoy, a priest, for marriage counseling at the Wayne residence. Though reluctant, Wayne agreed to the intervention in an attempt to save their union. The outcome led to Wayne promising to disentangle himself from Dietrich's life, under the condition that Josephine would cease bringing up the matter. Unfortunately for them both, this compromise failed to heal their deepening rift. As time wore on, the tension grew so intense that Josephine felt compelled to file for divorce. Despite his fame and success akin to a character in a Western film, John Wayne had seemingly left behind his wedding vows along the path of his illustrious career. The narrative takes a new turn when Wayne embarks on yet another romance with Esperanza Baur, a spirited Mexican woman introduced to him by Dietrich's business manager, Bo Roos. In August of 1941, Wayne traveled to Mexico alongside fellow actor Ray Milland and others, under the guise of securing investors for a novel movie studio venture. This journey would further complicate his tumultuous personal life. In an unexpected twist of events, Wayne's encounter with the enigmatic Esperanza Baur, nicknamed Chata, during a hotel stay with Milland, ignited a passionate obsession that overshadowed all other topics in his conversation. Though Chata was entangled with Milland and had a colorful past linked to multiple individuals, including a rumored Madam Mother, Wayne was smitten and unwavering in his affection for her. Despite the growing distance between him and Josephine, Wayne's persistent visits with Chata continued even after returning to the United States. The breaking point arrived when Josephine began receiving nightly calls from Wayne's new mistress seeking information about his location. While Josephine may have been able to overlook past indiscretions when they occurred overseas, this direct intrusion into her privacy was unbearable. As a result, she made a bold statement by piling all of Wayne's clothing on the front lawn, an unmistakable signal that she no longer tolerated his extramarital affairs. This incident led to his separation filing on June 20, 1942, which eventually culminated in a divorce in 1945. Remarkably, shortly after the finalization of their divorce, Wayne and Chata tied the knot on January 17, 1946. Amidst the tumultuous beginning of his divorce in 1942, John Wayne made a remarkable entrance into the radio world, starring in various serial radio dramas. As World War II swept America, the primary focus for all Hollywood celebrities shifted towards supporting the war effort. Despite the draft looming over many, Wayne managed to evade it due to his responsibility as a father of 4 and strong advocacy from his film studio on grounds of national interest. Furthermore, his age placed him beyond the typical draft range. Though exempt from military service, John Wayne did not shy away from contributing to the war costs. Over a 3-month span between 1943 and 1944, he undertook SSO, Servicemen's Symphony Orchestra, tours across numerous bases and hospital units in the Pacific Theater, performing for troops far from home. Initially considering voluntary enlistment like several of his fellow leading men, Wayne ultimately found reasons not to proceed with this plan. This decision would leave a lasting stain on his reputation, as some speculated that his overt displays of patriotism were driven by feelings of guilt for not serving his country during the war. As John Wayne's career evolved, he not only deepened his on-screen roles but also ventured into production by the end of the decade. One such film was Angel and the Bad Man in 1947, where Wayne played a tormented gunslinger torn between his lawless life and an enchanting Quaker girl, portrayed by talented actress Gail Russell. Their on-screen chemistry was electrifying from the start, causing whispers off-screen as well. This intensified when Chada, Wayne's significant other at the time, became jealous of their close bond, fearing infidelity. The tension came to a head during the wrap party for Angel and the Bad Man. Exhausted from filming and inebriated, Wayne returned home late only to be confronted by an enraged Chada pointing a gun at him. Fortunately, no shots were fired that night. Surprisingly, the reviews for Angel and the Bad Man were mostly positive, with critics praising Wayne's performance as more nuanced and layered than his previous roles. However, his core fanbase was less enthusiastic due to the movie's focus on romance over gunfights, deviating from the standard John Wayne formula that many adored. In the tumultuous world of Hollywood, John Wayne knew that pleasing everyone was an impossible feat. He understood that once he found his path, progressing forward was the key. This philosophy guided him in his career, and the release of Red River in 1948 was a testament to this approach. The film, produced on the heels of Angel and the Bad Man, was swiftly wrapped up by the end of 1940 SIX's Christmas season. It presented Wayne as Tom Dunson, a tormented cattleman with a darker edge than previous roles. To his delight, he excelled in portraying this character's emotional turmoil and complex relationships, especially with his on-screen son, played by Montgomery Clift. Clift, a young and talented actor fresh from Broadway, was initially seen as an unlikely choice for Wayne's antagonist. However, his dedication to his craft soon proved invaluable, complementing Wayne's acting style and persona flawlessly. While both actors struggled with alcoholism during production, this common ground only served to strengthen their on-screen chemistry. Despite a $2 million production budget, Red River became an enormous success, securing its place as one of John Wayne's most celebrated films. However, as was a pattern in the actor's life, this professional triumph was accompanied by personal hardship. Following the completion of Red River, Wayne embarked on what he and his new bride Chada perceived as a late honeymoon to Honolulu. Alongside them journeyed Wayne's close friend and frequent collaborator, James Edward Grant, and his spouse. However, Chada grew wary of Grant's presence, believing him to be a detrimental influence on Wayne, fostering promiscuity among the cast. As the trip wore on, fueled by excessive drinking, Chada's behavior spiraled out of control. She lashed out at Wayne with vulgar language in public, causing great embarrassment. Upon their return, Wayne was deeply distressed but reluctant to acknowledge his marriage to Chada as a mistake. In an attempt to escape the escalating marital discord, Wayne found solace in his work. Some close friends feared this behavior was merely an ostrich-like avoidance of the looming issues at hand. Ironically, during this tumultuous period with Chada, Wayne experienced a surge in creativity, starring in the legendary war film sands of Iwo Jima. Inspired by the iconic wartime photograph of U.S. soldiers struggling to raise the American flag over the devastated Pacific island of Iwo Jima, the movie was set on an island just 750 miles from mainland Japan, a strategic stepping stone for a potential American invasion following the attack on Pearl Harbor. Wayne's immersion in this project served as both a refuge and a source of artistic triumph amidst his tumultuous personal life. In an unexpected turn of events, the Japanese surrender was not prompted by an assault launched from Iwo Jima, but rather by the cataclysmic detonation of 2 atomic bombs. The brutal and devastating battle for this island, marked by approximately 7,000 U.S. Marine casualties and 18,000 Japanese troops killed, ranks among the most harrowing episodes of World War II. Anticipating a gripping film adaptation, Hollywood producers painstakingly crafted a compelling script and assembled a talented cast to do justice to this historical event. In their quest for authenticity, they collaborated closely with the Marine Corps, utilizing them as on-screen advisors and deploying an entire unit of active troops as extras on set. John Wayne, embodying the quintessential American patriot, was selected for the role of Sergeant John Stryker in this film. The character portrayed a no-nonsense career soldier with a reputation for being harsh and unpopular among his troops. However, as they fought side by side, his soldiers gained admiration for Stryker's steadfast leadership and unwavering dedication. Sands of Iwo Jima was filmed over the summer of 1949 from July to August and was released to rave reviews shortly afterward. The movie skyrocketed Wayne into Oscar contention, earning him a nomination for Best Actor. Although he didn't win that year, his performance in Sands of Iwo Jima solidified his status as a leading man and foreshadowed future successes. In 1949, Wayne and his second wife Chada seemed to navigate their marital challenges with relative ease. However, by 1950, cracks began to show once more. The turning point came when Chada demanded a trip to Mexico City to see her mother over Christmas, claiming it was necessary for her mental health. Upon her return in the summer of 1951, it remained unclear if this prolonged absence eased Chada's nerves or worsened Wayne's own growing concerns. During Chada's absence, Wayne faced a personal crisis. His hair began to thin and fall out. A man proud of his appearance, he initially resisted the idea but ultimately turned to wearing a toupee. This period of change and turmoil culminated in 1952 when Wayne left Chada in their Encino home for Peru under the guise of scouting locations for a new movie. Little did they know that this journey would lead Wayne to his third wife, Pilar Pallete, a young Peruvian woman who, like him, was in a troubled marriage and on the brink of divorce. Their fateful meeting occurred at a film site in Peru where both were separated from their respective spouses and entangled in messy relationships. Pilar's estranged husband was involved with another woman, further complicating matters for them both. Following an unexpected encounter with a new love, Wayne's life took an immediate turn. By September 12, 1952, just after returning from his travels, he filed for divorce from his then-wife Chada. The split appeared to be what Chada desired wholeheartedly, and she wasted no time in contacting gossip columnists to tarnish John Wayne's reputation. Throughout the divorce proceedings, which concluded in October 1953, she painted him as a habitual drunk. However, Wayne vehemently denied these allegations and emerged from the ordeal with a fairly favorable settlement for his estate. In contrast, Chada felt cheated after their separation, and her life spiraled downwards. After the divorce, she retreated to a hotel in Mexico City where she succumbed to alcoholism. The tragic end of her life mirrored a dark Hollywood scenario. Chada was found dead in her room, surrounded by empty bottles of booze at only 38 years old. Despite Chada's passing, Wayne's personal life continued its roller coaster ride. On November 1, 1954, he married for the third time to Pilar Pallete in a lavish ceremony held in Kona, Hawaii. The actor hoped that this union would bring him lasting happiness. As John Wayne faced new beginnings and challenges in his personal life, he continued to battle lung cancer. His courageous spirit echoed through his famous quote, "Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway." This determination would carry him through the remaining years of his life. At the time of his marriage to Pilar, John Wayne was offered an intriguing role, Genghis Khan in Howard Hughes' ambitious project, The Conqueror. Intended to be a grandiose blockbuster, the film turned out to be more of a spectacular failure. One glaring issue was Wayne's ill-fitting portrayal as the Mongolian warlord. Decked in an atrocious fake Fu Manchu mustache, subpar makeup, and outlandish period attire, he stood out painfully against the backdrop of the film. Furthermore, the dialogue was criticized for its lack of coherence, with Wayne muttering in an unconvincing accent that left audiences puzzled. In one scene, he proclaimed to Susan Hayward, "Know this, woman, I take you for wife." Even in the 1950s, it was apparent that The Conqueror was a monumental failure. This disastrous production would haunt Wayne for the rest of his life and cast a shadow on his credibility as an actor. Interestingly, filming took place in the Escalante Desert of Utah, close to where nuclear bomb tests were being conducted in Nevada. Years later, it was discovered that the desert sand used for shooting was most likely contaminated with radioactive dust. The possibility arose that Wayne's subsequent lung cancer diagnosis might have been influenced by his exposure to this radiation-laced dirt. However, considering his heavy smoking habits, consuming several packs of cigarettes daily. It could also be argued that the lung cancer was primarily caused by his tobacco addiction without any assistance from radioactive fallout. By 1955, John Wayne sought to bounce back from the financial setbacks incurred by the Conqueror through an enticing Western film titled The Searchers. This movie found him revisiting his iconic cowboy persona with a gripping plot that was a departure from conventional action adventures. The film's ensemble cast included a young Natalie Wood, Jeffrey Hunter, Vera Miles, and Ward Bond, elevating its overall appeal. The narrative revolves around the character of Debbie, played by Natalie Wood, who is kidnapped by Comanches, prompting her uncle Ethan Edwards, portrayed by John Wayne, to spearhead a search party for her rescue. Despite their successful mission, they discover that Debbie has been forcefully wed to a Comanche warrior, introducing a web of complex emotions and interpersonal conflicts. Despite its steep price tag of nearly $4 million, The Searchers was a profitable investment. Production wrapped up on August 16, 1955, shortly before Wayne welcomed his first child, Isa, with his wife Pilar on March 31, 1956. This birth marked the beginning of their family, with 2 more children to follow and John Wayne turning 49 just a few weeks later. In an unexpected turn of events, Wayne found himself juggling his silver screen fame and familial responsibilities until a devastating diagnosis in 1964, lung cancer. Already in its advanced stages, the disease forced him to undergo surgery that claimed 4 ribs and his entire left lung. Instead of succumbing to despair as advised, Wayne chose to raise public awareness about early cancer screenings, a decision that would forever link him to coining the term the Big C. 5 years post-diagnosis, in 1969, Wayne miraculously received cancer-free news. This same year, he embarked on one of his most celebrated roles, Rooster Cogburn in True Grit, a gritty western set in the latter half of the 19th century. Playing an unwavering U.S. Marshal tasked with capturing a notorious fugitive and murderer, Wayne's performance breathed life into a heroic on-screen character. The movie premiered at Radio City Music Hall on July 3, 1969, to critical acclaim. Wayne's extraordinary portrayal of Rooster Cogburn earned him both the Golden Globe and Academy Award for Best Actor, a testament to his undeniable talent. The film's immense popularity led to a sequel in 1975, further solidifying Wayne's place in Hollywood history. His legacy continued to thrive for decades, leaving an indelible mark on cinema.